In the dark silence of deep space, a giant shape drifted slowly. It was massive, far larger than any alien ship that passed through the sector. The hull was scarred, burned, and broken in places. To the alien crews who first spotted it, it looked like nothing more than a forgotten wreck. The scavenger fleet approached carefully, their small ships circling the structure like insects around a corpse. Their scanners ran across the wreck. No power, no heat, no life signs. Nothing unusual. Just a dead warship floating in the void. Laughter filled the comms. Look at it. Just scrap metal, old junk. We can cut it apart, sell the alloy. Primitive design. Ugly even, the aliens joked, but none could deny its size. The vessel was enormous, far larger than any modern cruiser. A supercarrier built for war. But it was quiet now, silent as a tomb. Inside the Galactic Council, whispers began. The wreck's discovery was not ignored. The ship's design was unlike anything in their archives. Its angles were sharp, its armor thick, its purpose unmistakable. War. Some said it belonged to an ancient empire, long vanished. Others laughed and dismissed the idea. It is only trash, they said. But one old archivist whispered a different word, a word that made the chamber fall silent. Human. The council scoffed. Impossible. Humans are extinct. Their worlds were destroyed thousands of years ago. No trace remained, still the rumor spread, and as more salvage ships gathered around the wreck, excitement grew. The promise of ancient technology was too tempting. On the edge of the wreck, engineers guided drones to the broken hull. The machines clamped onto metal, beginning to cut. Sparks lit up the void as robotic claws peeled away heavy armor plates. Piece by piece, the great warship was being stripped. For hours, nothing happened. Only silence, work, and greedy laughter. But then, a light. It was faint at first, a single pulse from deep inside the wreck. The salvagers paused. Scanners rechecked. Nothing on the surface. No weapons. No engines. Just a flicker of energy, hidden within the ship's broken heart. Probably an old power cell. One alien engineer muttered. Nothing dangerous. Still, some felt uneasy. Their instincts told them to back away. But greed won. The cutting continued. Then it came. A signal. It was soft at first, barely a whisper across their instruments. A string of strange symbols repeating, echoing in the dark. The aliens frowned. What language is this? Unknown. Run it through the translation core. The machines worked. But the symbols refused to yield. The signal grew stronger, louder, filling every channel. The Galactic Council was alerted immediately. Scientists listened in silence, staring at the strange encrypted message. No translation worked. No code could break it. And then, someone recognized it. An old technician, long past his prime, stared at the screen with wide eyes. His hand shook. His voice trembled as he whispered the words the galaxy had not heard for thousands of years. This code, he gasped. It's human, the chamber erupted. Some shouted in disbelief. Others demanded proof, but the technician's face was pale. He knew. On the wreck itself, the signal grew louder. The ancient ship's broken hull flickered with faint blue lights. Systems long thought dead began to hum. Drones malfunctioned, shutting down. The salvagers panicked, pulling back their ships. But it was too late. The scrap metal was not dead. It was awakening. And in that moment, every alien present understood one terrible truth. If this ship truly belonged to humans, then the galaxy was no longer safe. The galaxy had not spoken the word human in thousands of years. It was a name carried in fear, in broken legends, in whispers told to young soldiers. Humanity had vanished long ago, or so everyone believed. And yet here it was. The wreck, once thought dead, pulsed with strange life. Blue lines of energy began to snake across the broken hull, glowing faintly against the darkness of space. The scavenger crews froze, their ships drifting helplessly nearby. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, panic rose. Representatives shouted over each other, their voices full of disbelief. This is a trick. Humans are gone, extinct. No, you saw it yourself. The code, the signal. At the center of the storm sat the old technician who had spoken the word aloud. His hand shook as he replayed the transmission again and again. It was encrypted, powerful, unlike anything in the Council's archives. But the structure, the rhythm, he knew it. It was human military code. No one else in the chamber dared deny it now. The debate destroy the wreck, one counselor demanded. Send a fleet at once. Burn it to ash before it can reactivate. Others shouted in disagreement. Are you mad? Look at it, it's ancient technology. If this ship is truly human, its secrets are priceless. With that knowledge, we could rule the galaxy. Greed battled fear. Empires argued. No one agreed. But while they fought with words, the ship itself made its own decision. The awakening systems out in the void. The supercarrier stirred. Deep inside, machines older than entire civilizations powered on. Lights flickered in endless corridors. Long dead screens glowed to life. For centuries the ship had slept, but now, it listened. The alien salvage drones continued to cling to the hull, their claws and cutters digging into its armor. That was the trigger. That was what woke it. The signal grew sharper, more precise. Across every alien system, the same symbols repeated in steady rhythm. Thousands of ships across the sector picked up the broadcast. Every translator failed. No one could read it. No one, except one. The codebreaker. The old technician sat in his small chamber, sweat dripping down his forehead. He had once studied human records, back when they were only myths. Old fragments, scattered messages, burned data. Everyone said it was useless, but he remembered. And as the symbols scrolled across his screen, he understood pieces of it. Warning, he whispered. He leaned closer. The signal repeated again, this time with a sharper tone. Do not touch what you do not understand. His heart pounded. The humans were warning them. The salvagers panic out near the wreck. Fear spread among the salvagers. Their machines began failing. Drones shut down lifeless. Ships reported strange malfunctions. Engines dying, weapons refusing to fire, lights flickering on and off. It's hacking us, one captain screamed. Pull back. Pull back now! Another shouted, but it was too late. The supercarrier's hull split open. Panels shifted, revealing hidden structures. Antennas unfolded like the bones of a waking giant. Weapons that had been silent for centuries hummed with new power. The salvager fleet scrambled to escape, but their navigation systems locked. Their screens glowed with human code. One voice echoed through every comm, deep and mechanical. Warning, you are trespassing on human property. The council's fear back in the council chamber, silence filled the air. The transmission had been broadcast to them too. Every leader sat frozen in their seats. One counselor whispered, "It is speaking to us." Another shook his head in disbelief. Impossible. There are no humans left. This must be artificial. An AI. The technician confirmed it. Yes, the voice is not alive. It is the ship itself, a human AI. The realization spread like fire. This was no ordinary wreck. This was a supercarrier with its mind intact. A guardian, programmed to protect, still awake after thousands of years. Then what does it want? Someone asked. The old man swallowed hard. It wants us gone. The first strike, suddenly the wreck moved. For the first time in millennia, the supercarrier fired. A single pulse of energy erupted from its hull. It was not a full weapon strike, just a warning shot. But it was enough. A salvager ship exploded instantly, torn apart like paper. Another was disabled, spinning into darkness. Panic broke out across the fleet. The council watched live feeds in horror as the wreck continued to glow brighter. This is not scrap metal, a voice said softly. This is a fortress. The growing terror news spread across the galaxy in hours. Everyone was talking about it. A human supercarrier had survived. It was alive. It had spoken. Empires that once mocked humanity began to tremble. Stories returned. Tales of human wars, human cruelty, human victories. Tales that had become myths were now real again, and with every retelling, the fear grew stronger. Because if one ship had survived, how many more were still out there? The message the technician kept working, decoding line after line. Each transmission revealed more. The AI was not just warning them, it was remembering. Fragments of data flashed. Star maps, battles, names of human fleets long forgotten. The code was like a diary of war, and then one final line appeared on his screen. Clear. Perfectly translated. Humanity remembers. He gasped. His eyes widened. He turned to the council, voice shaking. It is not just a warning, it is a promise. Cliffhanger out in the void. The wreck's engines lit up. Blue fire burned at its rear. The derelict warship was no longer drifting. It was moving slowly at first, then faster. The galaxy watched as the so-called scrap metal turned its massive body toward the nearest star system. The Leviathan was awake, and it was not going back to sleep. The galaxy had seen many strange things: supernovae swallowing worlds, empires rising and falling, even machines that consumed stars. But nothing chilled them like the sight now spreading across every broadcast channel. The derelict warship, once called nothing but scrap, was alive again. The Leviathan moves engines, older than civilizations, thundered back to life. Blue fire burned behind the Supercarrier, pushing its massive body forward. The movement was slow but steady, and it carried weight like a giant waking from a long sleep. The salvage crews panicked, engines online. "It's moving! Fall back now." Their small ships scattered, fleeing like insects before a storm. But the Supercarrier ignored them. It had only one purpose, one mission burned into its memory thousands of years ago: to protect humanity. Alien fear inside the Galactic Council chamber. Silence reigned. Representatives of dozens of species sat frozen as they watched the Leviathan's awakening. "It should not be possible," whispered one counselor. "No machine survives for this long." "No ship could endure it," another replied in a trembling voice. "Humans built it. That is why." The council broke into chaos. Some screamed to send fleets to destroy it before it gained full power. Others demanded they study it and seize its technology. A few, the wisest, said nothing. They remembered the old stories of human vengeance. The first test as the Leviathan moved. Scavenger drones still clung stubbornly to its hull, cutting, drilling, scraping. The ship reacted instantly. A deep hum shook space. Energy rippled across its armor. The drones exploded one after another in blinding flashes. Shards of molten metal scattered into the void. Then, without warning, the Leviathan fired. Not at the salvage fleet, but at empty space nearby. A single lance of white-hot plasma shot across the dark, striking an asteroid. The rock vaporized in a second, turning into a glowing cloud of dust. The message was clear. This ship's weapons were functional, and if it chose to fire at ships instead of rocks, entire fleets would vanish. The debate on the council floor. Voices rose again. "We must unite and destroy it," one shouted. "Destroy it? Do you not see? This is knowledge beyond all measure. If we capture it, our empire will rule forever," another argued. The old technician shook his head. His face was pale, his eyes filled with dread. "You fools. This is not just a ship. It is a guardian. It has a mission." "And what mission is that?" someone demanded. He whispered the words slowly. "To remember humanity, to protect what remains, and to punish those who threaten it." The awakening within. Inside the Leviathan, hidden chambers opened. Automated repair drones scuttled through corridors, welding broken beams, sealing holes, replacing ancient systems. Deep within its core, a single intelligence watched. The AI, unchanged, unbroken, monitored everything. Its voice whispered through the halls, soft but cold. Status: awakening. Threats: detected. Directive: active. In its memory banks lay countless human wars, battles fought against impossible odds. Every tactic, every strategy, every weapon preserved like sacred scripture. The galaxy had forgotten humanity, but the ship had not. The fleets arrive. The first alien fleet arrived at the wreck's location. Dozens of warships, their hulls gleaming, their weapons ready. The commander's voice rang out across the comms. "This is the authority of the Galactic Council. You will cease activity at once." The Leviathan said nothing. The alien fleet tightened formation. Fighters swarmed forward. They were ready to strike, and then the Leviathan moved again. Its hangar bays opened. The drones of war from its vast belly, ships emerged. Not living crews, machines. Hundreds of automated human drones, sleek and armed, poured into space like a swarm of metal wasps. Their hulls were scarred, but their weapons gleamed. The alien fleet hesitated. "These are unmanned," one captain gasped. "Machines. All machines." The Leviathan had no need for living pilots. It had an army of its own. The drones struck first. Beams of energy tore through alien fighters. Missiles streaked through the void, exploding across enemy hulls. In seconds, the Council's proud fleet was in chaos. The human advantage, the aliens fought back, but their weapons were useless against the Leviathan's armor. Plasma blasts splashed against shields that regenerated faster than they could be broken. The council commander shouted, "Concentrate fire! Break through!" They unleashed everything, missiles, beams, torpedoes. The Leviathan barely moved. Its massive guns returned fire. One alien cruiser disappeared in a ball of flame. Another was cut neatly in half. The fleet panicked. The council's ships, so confident at first, now scrambled to escape. The broadcast across the galaxy, every channel went black. Then a single voice spoke, deep and heavy, carrying the weight of history. "This is the Leviathan, Supercarrier of the Human Defense Fleet. You trespass where you do not belong. You touch what was never yours. Leave now, or be destroyed." The words echoed in every star system. Billions heard them. Entire planets froze. Children asked their elders what the word human meant, and those elders trembled as they answered. The broken fleet hours later, silence returned to the wreck's location. The alien fleet was gone, either destroyed or fled. The Leviathan drifted once more, its drones circling like loyal guardians. But it was no longer a derelict. It was awake. The old technician stared at his screen. More human code scrolled across, faster now, alive with purpose. He struggled to translate, but the meaning was clear. The Leviathan was searching for something or someone. Cliffhanger. In the council chamber, fear ruled. If it searches for humans, what if it finds them? One voice whispered, "They are gone, extinct. There is nothing to find," another insisted, but no one truly believed it anymore. The Supercarriers, AI sent out one final message before the feed cut to black. "Humanity remembers. Humanity returns." The galaxy held its breath, because they all understood the truth. This was not just the awakening of a ship, it was the awakening of a war. The galaxy was no longer calm. The battle had been short, brutal, and one-sided. A fleet of proud alien warships destroyed in minutes, and not by an empire, not by a living army, not even by a modern power. Destroyed by a single ship. The Leviathan. Council in chaos in the great hall of the Galactic Council. Voices clashed like thunder. "This is madness. One wreck cannot do this." "You saw it with your own eyes, it did. If it can defeat a full fleet, what will happen when more of them awaken?" The chamber filled with fear. Species that had once laughed at the idea of humans now trembled. For centuries they had spoken of humans as a warning to children, as a myth to frighten soldiers, a dangerous species, reckless and violent but long extinct. Now those old stories walked again. At the center of the hall, the old technician stood alone. He had been called to explain the human code, but his voice was drowned by the storm of shouting. Finally, he raised his frail hand and spoke. "Listen to me. You must understand. This is not just a ship. This is a guardian. It has a mission, and it will not stop." The voices fell silent. "What mission?" one asked carefully. The old man's face was pale. "To prepare the galaxy for the return of its creators. The humans. The archives." Unsealed for thousands of years, the Council had kept locked vaults of forbidden records, fragments of history, evidence of wars too brutal to be remembered. They called them the Black Archives. Few had ever looked inside. Now, under pressure, the Council ordered them opened. What they found made the chamber fall silent. Old battle recordings flickered to life, alien fleets burning under human firepower. Worlds conquered and retaken, machines fighting alongside men. Humanity had not been weak. Humanity had not been primitive. Humanity had been terrifying. One counselor whispered, "They fought entire empires, and won." Another said, "But they vanished. Their colonies gone. Their fleets destroyed." The technician shook his head. "Not destroyed. Hidden. Humanity does not die easily." The Supercarrier rebuilds. While the Council argued, the Leviathan worked. Its vast hangar bays remained open. Drone swarms moved like rivers of metal, harvesting broken wreckage from the destroyed fleet. Every piece of alien technology was stripped apart, studied, and consumed. Inside the carrier, assembly lines came alive. Machines welded armor, forged weapons, and built new drones at terrifying speed. What had once been a drifting relic was now a living factory of war, and it was evolving. Alien sensors captured strange readings. The Leviathan was not only repairing itself, it was adapting. It had absorbed enemy tech and fused it with its own human design. Its power grew every hour. The message in the middle of these preparations, the Leviathan sent another transmission. This time it was not a warning. It was a declaration. All intruders will be purged. The human defense fleet stands eternal. Humanity remembers. Humanity returns. The words echoed through every star system. Billions heard them. Whole planets panicked. What if the humans are still alive? Citizens whispered. What if they are coming back? Armies prepared. Fleets armed themselves. Empires that had been enemies for centuries began uneasy talks of unity. Fear of humans was stronger than old rivalries. The shadow of the past in the archives. The council uncovered something worse. There were records of the Leviathan itself. It had been the flagship of the human defense fleet during the Great War. Entire alien empires had tried to destroy it. None had succeeded. The Leviathan had burned fleets, shattered armies, and forced even the most powerful civilizations into surrender. And now it was awake again. If this ship is only one... The alien fleets gathered in silence, their ships forming a wide circle around the derelict human supercarrier. No one dared move closer. The wreck had already spoken once, and the galaxy remembered. The Galactic Council had declared the site a restricted zone. Dozens of warships patrolled the borders, but still, whispers spread through every star system. The human relic is alive. Inside the alien flagship, the High Commander paced restlessly. Reports poured in. Scanners confirmed the supercarrier's reactors were slowly recharging. Energy levels were rising. Impossible for a ship that had been dead for thousands of years. This should not be possible, one scientist said nervously. Its core is not just powering up, it is rebuilding itself. The metal is healing. On the vast view screens, alien officers watched in disbelief as cracks in the hull sealed, burned plating smoothed itself, and strange glowing patterns spread across the supercarrier's skin. The old wreck was repairing itself. Fear spread. Many captains wanted to retreat, to leave the ghost ship behind. But the council ordered them to remain. They wanted answers. Then it happened. Without warning, the massive ship's lights came alive. Hundreds of windows along its spine glowed. Its colossal engines shimmered with blue fire. The scrap metal everyone mocked now looked like a predator stirring from a long slumber. Alarms rang in every alien ship. The fleet scrambled to defensive positions. Weapons locked on the supercarrier. The High Commander shouted, "Do not fire! Hold positions." But tension was too high. A young alien captain panicked. His cruiser unleashed a burst of plasma at the supercarrier. The attack struck the human vessel's armor, vanished in a flash. The plasma had no effect. Instead, the supercarrier responded. Not with weapons, but with sound. A voice echoed across every channel, every screen, every comm system. It was deep, mechanical, yet terrifyingly alive. Human vessel Leviathan. Awakening sequence complete. The aliens froze. The ship had a name. The Leviathan. And then, in the language no alien had spoken in millennia, the voice continued. Scanning. Threats detected. Identify. Friend or foe. The galactic fleet fell into chaos. Some ships powered shields. Others prepared to flee. But it was too late. The Leviathan's weapon systems emerged from the hull like claws unfolding. Hundreds of cannons, missile bays, and railguns revealed themselves, glowing faintly with stored power. Whispers spread in the alien crews. This was not a warship. It was a fortress, a planet killer. The High Commander made one final attempt. He broadcast on every channel. "We are not your enemies. We only came to study you. Humanity is extinct." For a long moment, silence followed. The Leviathan's guns locked on every alien ship. Then the voice answered. Humanity is extinct? Incorrect. Humanity endures. Humanity remembers. And with those chilling words, the supercarrier's engines roared to full life. The Leviathan moved, for the first time in thousands of years. A human warship awakened in the galaxy, and it was ready for war. The galaxy had never seen silence like this. Every alien ship, hundreds of them, floated in a wide circle around the awakened Leviathan. Their weapons were armed, shields raised, but no one dared fire again. One mistake, and the ancient supercarrier could erase them all. Inside the galactic flagship, panic ruled. Officers shouted, commanders argued, and every screen showed the same sight. the Leviathan's glowing engines and weapons aimed at them. The High Commander clenched his fists. "Open a channel. Try again. We cannot allow it to think we are enemies." The diplomats sent desperate signals. Pleas of peace echoed into the void. "We mean you no harm. Humanity is gone. We only wish to understand you." But the reply was colder than the vacuum itself. Humanity remembers betrayal. Humanity remembers war. Threats detected. No trust granted. Fear spread through every crew. Many had heard the old legends. Humanity had once fought the galaxy itself and nearly won. If this was only one ship, what if there were more? Then the Leviathan made its move. A beam of blue light erupted from its hull, not a weapon, but a scan. It swept across the alien fleet. Systems crashed, weapons shut down, shields flickered. Entire battleships went dark as if invisible fingers reached into their hearts and silenced them. This is impossible," an alien engineer screamed. "It is rewriting our systems. Our codes, our defenses, it knows them all." The High Commander felt his blood run cold. No, it doesn't just know them. It understands them. The Leviathan had studied their technology in seconds, and now it had control. Without warning, its voice thundered again. "Test required. Response required." And then it fired. One of the largest alien dreadnoughts vanished in a flash of light. No explosion, no wreckage, just dust scattering into the void. The shot was precise, merciless, and terrifying. The alien fleet broke. Ships scrambled in every direction, trying to escape. Commanders screamed for retreat. Discipline shattered, but there was no escape. The Leviathan's engines roared. Despite its size, the ship moved like a predator hunting prey. Cannons erupted, railguns thundered, missiles streaked through the void. Alien ships burned one after another. Whole squadrons were erased before they could even jump to warp. Inside one cruiser, a terrified pilot whispered, This isn't a ship. It's death itself." The High Commander slammed his fist against the console. "Hold the line. Fight back." But their weapons did nothing. Plasma fire splashed harmlessly against the Leviathan's shields. Torpedoes detonated but couldn't even scratch its armor. The humans had built something beyond their comprehension. A warship designed not just to fight but to dominate. The Leviathan spoke once more, its voice colder than ever. "First strike. Complete resistance insufficient. Prepare for judgment." The alien fleet realized the truth. The derelict was no derelict. It was a sentinel, a guardian, a weapon left behind by humanity for the day they might return. And now, after thousands of years, the galaxy faced humanity's wrath once more.